Hey guys, in today's video, I'd like to talk about the overall Bitcoin market. We have so much news going on, especially with the executive orders that Donald Trump has signed. And we have, the sovereign wealth fund being created, as well as at the state level, states such as Utah and Arizona, they're running towards getting strategic Bitcoin reserve implemented so that they can start using their funds to buy up Bitcoin. Along with ETFs being created, we know that BlackRock established IBIT in the United States, and now there's the European market where investors are attracted to this, where there's going to be more ETFs created. In fact, Donald Trump will also be initiating US-based ETFs using his names. There's just so much going on right now in the Bitcoin crypto market. And what does this mean with strategy MSTR, formerly known as MicroStrategy? We'll go through all the details. Most of you are wondering what my price prediction is. I'll cover all of that in correlation with the Bitcoin price. So if you're new to this channel at All I See Is W, I would really appreciate you turning on the bell notifications, hitting the like, and subscribing to this YouTube channel to help me grow in this community. Let's get started. The overall Bitcoin market. So today we saw some upward movement, getting above the 100,000, currently hovering slightly below 98,000. We have so much going on, especially with the United States considering Bitcoin for a sovereign wealth fund, which is really paving the way for digital assets to become mainstream reserve holdings. In addition to that, the SEC is reviewing NASDAQ proposals allowing iShares Bitcoin ETF investors to redeem shares for Bitcoin instead of cash. We know cash every year, as you hold on to cash, you're combating against that 7% inflation. So your fiat money is devalued. Bitcoin alone, you can engineer more Bitcoins, and that's why the value of Bitcoin will only go up. Along with just Bitcoin ETFs, we've seen heavy inflows, 1.1 billion inflows due to institutional interest despite economic uncertainties. And this poses positive signals with strong demand for digital assets, along with just BlackRock. They continue to buy up Bitcoin. I mean, also interesting news that BlackRock, they actually bought shares of MicroStrategy. We'll cover more details on that, along with legislative movements in Utah and Arizona, aiming to allow these states to hold on to Bitcoin as a reserve to really combat the big time issue, which is inflation. This is really hurting the US economy, but I think that with Trump in this 2.0 term, we're going to see, the golden era really come into fruition here, and that's through Bitcoin as a digital commodity. Let's take a look at this visual here. So we're looking at the Bitcoin rainbow chart. So key takeaway here is that the current value of Bitcoin, especially post the April halving, we're still in that early phase of accumulation buy. We haven't broken out into that FOMO, the overbought phase here. So we should expect that in 2025, Bitcoin will be, going up to its all-time high. There's forecasts to get up to about 150 to 250,000. I'm thinking we will land somewhere around the $200,000. And what would that mean for the price of MicroStrategy? Taking a look here with the news here just in from, Bitcoin Magazine, that a Trump Bitcoin ETF shows just how wild 2025 is going to be. Just having a Trump Bitcoin ETF, that just solidifies the crypto markets here, especially having a trademark, True 5 Made in America ETF, True 5 Made in America, energy independence. SMA just with Trump's branding here. So I think this really puts a sentiment trademarking these six products with America First themes made in America. I think all of that is really going to drive so much interest in, investing into ETFs, really having that hedge. I think all of this is really going to bring a lot of the money into the stock market as well, having a hedge towards not only stocks such as the Mag 7 stocks, but also in the crypto markets as well. Let's take a look here. So Costco, they are making a move as well. They're installing Bitcoin ATM. So this is really bullish for Bitcoin and MSTR. Anything that Costco touches, I mean, you look at Costco's share price, it's over $1,000, one of these most solid stocks in terms of performance. They're installing Bitcoin ATMs because they know the value of Bitcoin. This makes Bitcoin more accessible to everyday shoppers, and this could really bring in more investors here. This could drive greater adoption, reinforcing Bitcoin's mainstream appeal. And why is this good for MSTR? MicroStrategy holds a massive Bitcoin treasury, over 400,000 Bitcoins, and is heavily leveraged to Bitcoin's price movement. If more retail investors buy Bitcoin through these ATMs in bulks at Costco, demand rises, potentially pushing prices up, benefiting both Bitcoin and MSTR stock. This could also signal growing corporate confidence in Bitcoin, which could further fuel institutional adoption. But this isn't just about short-term gains. Bitcoin is the future of money, unlike fiat, which is controlled by central banks and subject to inflation. Bitcoin is decentralized, has a fixed supply, and allows for borderless transactions. As more companies integrate Bitcoin into their ecosystems, we are witnessing the early stages of a financial revolution. This move by Costco could be a signal that Bitcoin is becoming a part of everyday commerce. So really changing the way we look at the lifestyle of the normal consumer markets and through financial engineering. I think Bitcoin is really going to increase, and that's going to be reflected in share price of MicroStrategy being a multi-trillion-dollar market cap company. Let's take a look here at, just with this posting here, BlackRock increases its ownership of Strategy MSTR to 5% through SEC filing. So BlackRock, they quietly bought 5% of MSTR. So we know that, there's a push and pull between BlackRock and MicroStrategy, but it's great to see even BlackRock is taking an ownership of the Titan Strategy MSTR, and this is really great news. In fact, price of MSTR, we'll cover the technicals as well. We're seeing some upward movement here as well. Let's take a look at this visual here. So the Rum CEO and Michael Saylor, they're both at the Mar-a-Lago. They're talking about deals, partnerships, you name it, sovereign wealth fund, strategic Bitcoin reserve. The fact that MSTR has, close to about 500,000 Bitcoins on their treasury, they can do a lot with that. They could, hedge spot ETFs. They can lease out their Bitcoins. They can custody their Bitcoins. They can do a lot. And through all of these levers that they have in place with the different ways to invest into MicroStrategy or their convertible notes or their bonds or even higher risk plays like MSTU ETFs, MicroStrategy can cater towards any audience and they'll just continue to buy up Bitcoin. So even if the shares increase with dilution, each share will hold on to more Bitcoin. So that would be the counter towards, just any possible ATMs. But I do think that we have so much upside with MSTR. Let's take a look at their new website here. So very simple. I really like how they've designed the user interface here. It gives you a quick glance of where things are, especially with their HODL count of 471,107 Bitcoins on their balance sheet. They've actually had 100,000 Bitcoins many years ago. So their average cost is much lower than like other companies because they've been consistently buying Bitcoin throughout the many years, through the many highs and many lows over the years. And that's why there truly is no second best. There's no other company behind MSTR that has even close to 50,000 So I think MSTR is really up there. They're gonna, dominate the Mag 7 along with ETFs, and we'll look at the data as well to support that. But you see here 1 year return 573%. And since the Bitcoin standard, I mean 2,664% rise. We look at BSC return here. So, MSTR dominates the Mag 7. That includes Nvidia, Bitcoin, Tesla, Meta, you name it. I mean, along with QQQ ETFs, MSTR is the number one workhorse. They will continue to do so. As their treasury for Bitcoin continues to rise, they will dominate because the value, their liquid cash, their liquid holding on to Bitcoin will continue to increase. They've evolved from MicroStrategy to strategy holding on to Bitcoin, and now they will evolve sort of to become like a Bitcoin bank where they could, lend out their Bitcoin and as a return get money from that. So lots of strategies that they can implement, in this year along with the many years to come, especially since they have so much Bitcoin. We look here at the acquisition. So every yellow dot just represents where they've been buying. I mean, they've been buying back in 2020 at the low point of like less than 10,000, even, in 2021 as well. Even with that bear cycle, we see consistent buying. Doesn't matter if it's, a lower dollar cost average DCAs being applied here. I mean, even buying during the low point of the bear cycle here, 18,000. And we continue to see, consistent buying, which now, getting close to that 480,000 Bitcoins total HODL here. I think this really is why they've separated themselves with other companies who are now trying to, consider buying, even like Meta, for example. Tesla has, uh, close to about 10,000 Bitcoins, not even close to strategy. But I think this is a big sentiment. Congratulations to Michael Saylor for just, sticking through with his resilience. He went through lots of pain early on, but I think he was able to just focus, have that laser sharp focus, stick to that strategy, use Bitcoin as a hedge to dominate the market. And that's how he was really able to like make this branding so popular now. Everyone knows about MicroStrategy. This branding will continue to evolve and get more popular, especially with Michael Saylor on the Forbes magazine. He's, talking consistently with Donald Trump, Eric Trump. So he's part of the government. His name is out there. I think he's doing so much. And as a result of that, this company will continue to grow. Let's take a look at the current price, as of right now. They're up 5.24%, currently at $342. I think we're seeing some huge upside. The coil is beginning to tighten up. I do think that we're going to start rocketing up, you know, retesting that prior resistance, what we saw back in November, reaching that all-time high of 550. We had some, profit taking. We had, Citadel initiating a short selling here. It started going back down, lower lows here. But I think that we're consolidating here and we're beginning to see a cup and handle form here, especially with this technical bullish flag pattern that I've drawn here. But I do think that, with where the RSI is, we're going to see that heavy kick up, retest 550, I believe, come April timeframe as Bitcoin price breaks through 130,000. We're going to start seeing that run up V shape, next gap up, sending it up to 750 come April timeframe. But I believe in 2025, we could very well see price targets of 1,200. That's my price prediction. So I wanted to play a short clip.
Before Bitcoin, you would have bought bars of soap, crates of toilet paper. You would have bought motorcycles. You would have bought a Humvee. You would have bought barrels of oil. You would have bought anything. You would have bought food. You would have bought bullets. You would have bought guns. Anything tangible that you can self-custody, you would have held. Now, after Bitcoin, you now have, for the first time in human history, the ability to buy not a barrel of oil, but $80 worth of Bitcoin. and you put it on your phone. And now you can go through an airport with the Bitcoin. You can't go through the airport with a barrel of oil.
Well, there you have it. Just another short clip of Michael Saylor hedging Bitcoin. And I think just with the understanding of how much your investment can grow compared to like having real estate, there's a shift in like digital property now versus having tangible property, with like real estate. So it's interesting how we're seeing the dynamics change, especially with the rate of return that we're seeing with MicroStrategy and Bitcoin. So there you have it. I hope you found this video valuable. And if you did, please make sure to comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, how high you think MicroStrategy will be going, especially with Bitcoin in the bull cycle. And if you haven't done so, please make sure to hit the like, bell notification, and subscribe for more related content. Thank you guys.